Historically, most major change initiatives in organizations tend to fail, in part because there's a foundational tribal, cultural, historical dynamic that they operate from. It's like the roots and trunk of their tree. And if they try to change the whole tree and all the branches or even the roots of the tree, they tend not to understand enough about the tree in order to transform the tree into a new kind of tree or a new kind of organism or mechanism or process. And they also go about it in a half-hearted and incomplete way, unidimensional versus a multidimensional or transdisciplinary way. So they don't know how to transform. And so only often by attrition do you get a mechanism of transformation, meaning that as organizations die off, the new information from them then becomes the fertilizer and the root system for a new kind of organization. And that need not be the case. And unfortunately, it has been the case often in the past. And we want to offer an alternative, meaning a way to comprehensively transform and retrofit organizations in every dimension, at every level, and in every component of the organizational process. And that means being able to change and to transform and evolve every grain of sand in the sandcastle of that organization, and do that smoothly and effectively and efficiently and wholesomely and in a balanced and harmonious and fair way, inclusively and equitably. So again, organizations aren't used to operating that way. They have hierarchical command and control strategies and organizational structures, and they have stovepipe segmentation of the organizational process. And they don't understand when, where, how, and why to evolve that. So they hire consultants, and the consultants come in and charge a lot of money and we won't criticize the consulting process. We'll just say that a lot of them fail, unfortunately, or don't achieve the necessary results. We won't say the goals that they're supposed to achieve. We'll say the necessary transformation to reach a new plateau of organizational consciousness, process, quality, functionality, capacity to learn as a comprehensive learning organization, and self-awareness of how to evolve out of a simple competitive dynamic in an ecosystem of competing organizations into conscious organizations that have the capacity to serve humanity, the common good, future generations, and the ecosystem in a harmonious and balanced way for the next 100 years. So does it make sense that within organizations, there are different every organization has a culture, and there are subcultures within the cultures, and these are inevitably tribal in nature. And so the tribalism of organizations tends to hold the organization back from achieving higher levels of consciousness and thus sustained, optimized service in the world, that higher quality of function. So absolutely, how you design every component of the organization, including teams, including IT teams or any other kind of team, is mission critical, because there isn't a grain of sand in the sandcastle that doesn't matter. There are no unimportant decisions or choices. There are no unimportant people in processes. There are no unimportant dynamics in team dynamics or in organizational component, like the marketing team or the accounting team or the product development team or research and development team. None of those components can be overlooked or not curated with optimal wisdom, discipline, discernment, thoroughness, exactitude, precision, and persistence of intentionality to improve, evolve. And that being the case, there many organizations don't have that baseline capacity in place in order to then allow them to pivot, change, evolve, or transform to be able to work with other organizations collaboratively. So how much foundation work is necessary in organizations in order to get them to that point of realized self-aware capacity and embodied understandings and learning, so that they can even understand the nature of the climate crisis in order to be able to change themselves as organizations to be more green, and then also to change themselves so that they can work together collaboratively with other organizations. And we would even include, by the way, mass organizations we call nations have not been designed to collaboratively work together either. So are we talking about a necessary global transformation that operates at every level of granularity, from the individual to the international? And so how important is the educational information the WSS is putting together and making available to the world? If this is the necessary baseline of success for us as a species, is there any ingredient in that recipe that can be left out and end up with the best end result? Does it make sense that every time we touch another organization, interact with, communicate with another organization, our intention as an organization is to be able to derive understandings, wisdom, insights, new educational materials, new approaches, new strategies that we then reflect back out to the world as a result. And is it important that we as an organization and the team of teams design in that understanding of that being a necessary prerequisite to organizational success, to be able to evolve synchronistically, rapidly, catalytically through every conversation, every communication, every participation with every other organization, and that constant inflow, outflow, ripple effect of arrived at understanding will inevitably be of benefit to everyone in the world. Can a forest fire be started with a single match or a single spark? And if there's enough wind, can it race through the entire forest very, very rapidly? We would suggest we're not wanting to burn down a forest. It's not an optimal metaphor. That said, the ground is fertile for reception of functional information and educational materials. It is catalytically ready to be transformed. This is the moment of initiating that transformation. We are here on time with the information, with the information systems, with the necessary capacity and quality and intentions as an organization. We're ready to move forward together.